I'm going to be showing you how to get all the collectibles in the Metropolis hub world area within LEGO DC Supervillains. Let's get started. Okay, so we're starting things off with a gold brick. This one's called Out of Reach on the Beach, and it's going to be located on the bottom right corner of Metropolis. This one's kind of on the outskirts, so you're going to fly all the way down here to where this kind of beach area is, and on the cliffside, there's going to be a cave. And next to the cave, you're going to notice a batarang target. So we're going to switch over to Batman for that, and then aim the batarang at that target. It should then rotate around. It'll open up this cage, giving you access to this treasure chest. And inside is going to be the gold brick for Out of Reach on the Beach. Next up, we're going to complete a race. This one's called Super Drift Around Strikers, and it's going to be located on the bottom right corner of Metropolis, right in front of the Strikers Island prison. So this one is a race, and I believe it requires you to use the forklift vehicle, because I jumped in this cop car and it wasn't letting me start the race, but then this forklift spawned in when I got close. So then I hopped in that, and then it let me start the race. So this one's a little finicky. You just have to use a certain vehicle. So we're going to start this one. This one has a 2-minute time limit for the gold rank in order to get the collectible at the end. And this is a super straightforward race, so it's kind of got a unique bird's eye camera view just right above this front area of Strikers. So all you're doing is just kind of driving around in this front area. You never leave it. You never have to drive anywhere else in Metropolis. So you're just kind of driving around in circles over and over again. The controls are a little bit tricky on this thing, just the way you turn. But if you complete it within 2 minutes, you will unlock the T-Jet as a playable vehicle. Next is a gold brick. This one's called Honey, I'm a Lexperiment. It's going to be located in the bottom middle of the Metropolis map, and this one's actually going to be inside the LexCorp tower. So in order to get in there, what we have to do is head down here to the front entrance, and there's going to be an elevator shaft. So we can just hit the B or circle button on that, and then you can head down, and now we'll be inside the building where this gold brick takes place. So on the left side of the entrance, there's going to be one of these see-through walls. So we're going to use Superman's X-ray vision to line up this picture, and that'll open up this window on the left side where there's going to be some scientists that have been shrunk down. So the goal of this one is to get them back up to size. That's pretty much the goal of this whole gold brick. So to do that, we're going to switch over to the Riddler, and we're going to mind control one of these scientists and just start destroying the Lego objects here in the middle. And once you destroy enough of them, it'll give you a buildable Lego object, which is going to build into a pressure pad that we can then step on. And that's going to cause the floor here in the middle to open up where the Lex Luthor logo was. And on the left side, there's going to be a vent. So what we're going to have to do is switch to a character that can go through vents like Clayface or Livewire. I use Clayface here, but I'd probably recommend Livewire because on the other side, once you get to the bottom of the floor, there's going to be an electrical panel. So now I'm going to switch over to a character like Grid to charge that up, and that'll cause everything to explode here beneath the floor. And it's also going to create a vent in that room where the shrunk down scientists are. So we need to get the scientists through that vent. So we're going to switch back over to the Riddler, mind control them again, I guess because they're not smart enough to jump up there themselves. We're going to hit that button. That's going to create a little stairway up to the vent. And so we're going to do a little bit of platforming to get up there, head through the vent, and now we're going to be on the left side of the room. And there's going to be a Lexbot, and this is sort of a stealth scenario. And so what you have to do is sneak past the Lexbot in order to hit that red button that's on the right side of this room. So at first I tried to punch the Lexbot, but it doesn't really do anything. He turns around. That's about it. Really what you have to do is hide behind those books that are on the desk. So as we're going up here, we're going to hide behind the books until the Lexbot looks away. Then you can hit the button, and that'll complete this little side quest here. Just wait for them to get big again. They're going to talk for quite a long time, and then you'll be able to grab the gold brick for Honey, I'm a Lexperiment. Now it's time to do a race. This one's called Let's Go Fly a Kite. It's going to be located on the south side of Metropolis, and this one's actually going to be above the Lex Luthor tower here. So at the very top, that's where this race begins. So you do have to be playing as a flying character, and this one has a 1-minute time limit. You have to fly through 22 different checkpoint rings within that time limit. And as I always say with these races, the gold ranking is really forgiving. As long as you fly around and don't make any super major mistakes, you should easily be able to do this within the 1-minute time limit. And if you do, you will unlock Wonder Woman's invisible jet as a playable vehicle. Next is a gold brick, and this one's called LEXerciser 5000. It's going to be located on the south side of Metropolis, right in front of the Lex Luthor Tower. So there's going to be this sphere that has a gold brick inside, and you might be wondering how you're going to get that gold brick. Well, right behind it, there's going to be a gold Lego Object LexCorp logo, so we're going to destroy that using a character like Superman. That's going to give you a buildable electrical panel. And so now that we have that, we're going to switch over to a electrical character like Livewire or Grid. And we're going to charge up this sphere, and once it gets done, you'll then be able to ride in the sphere like a vehicle, and that'll allow you to jump in and grab the gold brick for LEXerciser 5000. Now we're going to do the first side quest here in Metropolis. So this one's called Golden Glider Flash Finder, and it's going to be located in the bottom left corner of Metropolis in this Steelworks building. And this one can be a little tricky to find. It's right here on the outskirts, and this one's a little unique because Golden Glider, who gives you this quest, is like outside the building, and there's a little cutscene that shows her go inside. So I don't know if there's any other side quests that are like that where the character kind of talks to you before you actually start the quest, but we're going to talk to her. That'll activate this side quest, and now we have to go around and talk to 5 NPCs about the Flash. So we just have to go around Metropolis and do that. Now, I did experience this little bug where I couldn't leave this building. You can see there was like an invisible wall where all the doorways were, and then I had to fly in order to get through it. So not sure if any of you guys have experienced that bug or not, but it happened to me several times while recording these guides. So the first group of NPCs is going to be right there on the bridge on the left side, so we're just going to talk to them. That'll knock that one off. And this next one is going to be inside this toy store, kind of on the left side of Metropolis. I believe it's called Scott's Toys, spelled with S-C-H. And once we get inside, there's going to be a little small minifigure that we can talk to about the Flash, and that'll be 2 out of 5. So now we're going to move up here to the Daily Planet building. So this one's a little bit more to the north in Metropolis. So I'm flying around looking for this person, but it turns out they're actually on the rooftop. They're not on the bottom level. So I look at the map again, I'm like, okay, they must be on the roof. So I'm going to fly all the way up there, and beneath the big Daily Planet globe is going to be another NPC. This is a talking gorilla. I guess it's a guy in a gorilla costume. So we're going to talk to him. That'll be another hint. Now this leaves 2 more to go. This next one's going to be on the right side on this kind of bridge walkway area. He's going to be on the boat nearby, so we're going to talk to him. And once he gets done talking, that'll be 4 out of 5. And then there's going to be a 5th NPC on the south side of Metropolis, just to the right of the LexCorp building. So we're going to fly on over there, and there's going to be this little grassy area next to the statue, and there's going to be this farmer-looking NPC, so we're going to talk to him, and that'll be the final guy that we need to talk to. So now we need to make our way back over to Golden Glider, and so we're going to fly back to the Steelworks, and so there's going to be different options for what each character told you. So one of the correct ones is going to be the one about Flash has been seen signing comic books, or whatever it says. And then the second correct answer is going to be Flash has been seen at the comic store. So if you hit the wrong option, it's not really a big deal. It'll just cross that one off and you can try again. But once you hit those 2 correct options, you will unlock Golden Glider as a playable character. Next is a gold brick, and this one's called Escargold, and it's going to be located in the bottom left-hand corner of the Metropolis map. And so this one takes place outside of a fancy upscale restaurant of some sort, and the goal here is to get inside because we're not on the waiting list apparently. So the door is going to be locked, so we're going to have to do a few different things in order to get inside to get that gold brick that's frozen in ice. So first off, we're going to have to get to the rooftop. I think you can just fly up there, but I'm doing it the proper way by using these acrobatic poles with Harley Quinn. And once we get up here to the roof, there's going to be one of these small hatches, so we can switch over to the Joker and pull out his Joker teeth to go through this hatch. And what we have to do is blow up the stove that's on fire in the kitchen there. So I'm kind of going around. Initially, I try to go for the gold brick, but that's not what you're supposed to do. You just blow up this on fire stove, and once you do that, it'll initiate this little cutscene where the chef is kind of freaking out a bit. And from there, what we're going to have to do is switch over to Batman's mini Batwing, his little remote control Batwing. So we're going to switch over to him and pull that out, and it can also go through this hatch. And once we do that, it'll be able to destroy this glass Lego object here, which is going to unleash all of these little lobsters or crabs into the restaurant. They're all going to freak out, and that's going to open up the front door, giving us access to the restaurant. So once we get inside, we can then switch over to a character that can melt down ice like Superman or Heatwave, And so we're just going to melt down that ice, and then we'll finally be able to grab the gold brick for Escargold. Next is going to be a race. This one's called Meander through Metropolis, and it starts off on the left side of Metropolis on that bridge that kind of interconnects the amusement mile and Metropolis areas. And so this race requires a motorcycle vehicle. That's the message that I got when I tried to start it, but the logo there, it shows a motorcycle as well as a regular car, as well as even the Flash logo. So I'm not entirely sure why the game is forcing me to use a motorcycle, but I went along with it. I purchased the Red Hood motorbike, and so we're going to hop on that to start this race. And this one has a 2-minute time frame, so you need to complete this one within 2 minutes in order to get the reward at the end. And there's also going to be 26 different checkpoint rings, so this one has us going all throughout Metropolis, like up and down through all the different levels. And this is one of the lengthier races in the game. I make a major mistake right here. Completely missed that checkpoint marker, so I had to go into reverse. I did it again there. The handling on these bikes is just a little bit off, and I wasn't used to it. But even with these 2 major mistakes, I'm easily able to do it within the 2-minute time frame. Once you make it to the end, you will unlock Scarecrow's Harvester of Fear as a playable vehicle. Next up is a gold brick, and this one's called Savings and Safecracking, and it's going to be located on the right side of Metropolis. It's going to be inside this Metropolis Savings Bank building, and so we're going to walk in here, and there's going to be a wall with a couple orange handles on it. So we're going to pull that with a big fig character or any strong character like Superman. That'll start this cutscene of this NPC eating some ice cream inside the vault, so we have to get him out. So after that, there's going to be a cutscene of this cop coming in, and these robots are going to attack the cop, and that's going to give you a buildable Lego object. This does get the cops on you, so they're going to be kind of a distraction while we're trying to do this, but that's going to build into one of these aiming pads on the ground, so we're going to switch over to a character that can use those, like Deadshot, and you're going to try to shoot this target, but it won't actually bounce off correctly because there's several different grapple hook points around the room on these windows. So what we have to do is just go around the bank and pull on all of them, because we will need all of them in order to get this gold brick. And again, these cops are just going to keep attacking us. We're trying to complete this gold brick, which is a little bit annoying, but again, we're just going to keep ignoring them. So again, we're going to pull on all of these different grapple hook points. Once you pull on them all, we're going to shoot one of these little bouncing pads. The bullet will bounce around the room, and it'll hit one of the targets that are above the safe. That'll be 1 out of 2. Then use that same aiming pad and aim on the opposite bouncing pad, and that'll bounce off the room, and that will open up the safe that the prisoner is locked in. He'll run out, and there's going to be a gold brick inside the vault. So now that he's out of there, we can just walk right in and grab the gold brick for Savings and Safecracking. Switching back over to a race, this one's called Highway to the Batcave, and it's going to be found on the very right side of Metropolis on this kind of bridge walkway area. And to start this race, you do need to be playing as a super speed character. Superman doesn't count, so you can use Reverse Flash, or as I do here, I'm going to use the regular superhero Flash. And we're going to go ahead and start this race. So this one does have a 1-minute time limit, and you also have to go through 30 different checkpoint rings. Now this might be one of the hardest races in the game, just because the time limit is actually not as forgiving as it is with a lot of the other races. Like usually I can do it in like almost half the time that it gives you, but this one was a little bit closer. I think I do it in about 45 seconds or so. So it's not super difficult still, but it is a little bit more challenging than the other ones. But when you complete it, you will unlock the Cyborg Copter as a playable vehicle. Next up is a gold brick, and this one is very simply called Gold Brick here, and it's going to be found in the bottom right hand corner of the Metropolis area. It's actually going to be beneath the front entrance of Stryker's Island, and once you get down here, you're going to notice a whole bunch of lasers, and there's also going to be a silver Lego object. So we're going to switch over to the Joker, use his explosive pies to blow that up, and it's going to give you a buildable aiming pad that a character like Deadshot can use. Now you can go ahead and use Deadshot and shoot the target, but what I'm going to do is head over here to the security system, use Deadshot's invisibility to hit that switch, bypass the security system, and that's going to realign these targets. So now we can aim and shoot at the target at the very top left. That'll cause the bullet to bounce off a few of these different pads and hit one of 2 targets. There's going to be one more. In order to do that, we need to hit that button again. So we're going to turn invisible, hit the switch, and that's going to realign the targets the way they originally were. So again, I could have shot it at the beginning, but now that they're realigned, we're going to shoot that bouncing pad at the top right. it'll bounce off a few of these different targets, and that'll be 2 out of 2. And that's going to be pretty much it for this gold brick. Now, this Psycho Pirate character is going to start talking to you a bit. He's even going to tease you about the next quest, but he will give you the gold brick for gold brick here. Moving on to a side quest, this one's called Ares on to Get Annoyed, and it's going to be found on the right side of Metropolis, inside of the diner. So once you get here, there's going to be this diner, and you can walk right inside. The doors are wide open, and Ares is going to be waiting over here on the left side, so we're going to wave in front of him to activate this side quest. So he's going to want to know more about the digital age and like modern lingo and all that sort of thing. And so what we have to do is find 5 different NPCs around Metropolis. So this is one of those ones where it doesn't point you to their exact location with the purple indicator, but it does give you some markers on the map, so you just have to search that general location, and one of them is pretty tricky, which we'll get to here in a second. So over here on the left side, right in front of the savings building, I believe, the bank, there's going to be an NPC. We're going to talk to him, and that'll be 1 out of 5. And this next one's going to be right in the middle of Metropolis, just a little bit to the south, and he's going to be found up on this balcony. He's a farmer guy, so we're going to talk to him, and that'll be 2 out of 5. And this third one is the tricky one. So over here on the left side, kind of the top left of the map, you're going to look at this marker on the map and start looking over there, but you're not going to be able to find anybody in this general area. So the secret here is that you actually have to head underground. So we're going to walk into this Metropolis library building. So you can see here where I'm at on the map in the top left corner, and there's going to be 2 elevators. We're going to choose the one that's on the right side, hit that elevator button, wait a few seconds for the door to open, then hit the button again, and that's going to take you down to, I guess, what you can call like a semi-secret parking garage area here in Metropolis. So once we get down here, we can just fly around until we see this alligator or crocodile, and just talk to the NPC that's next to him, and that'll be 3 out of 5. So that's definitely the hardest one, but this next one isn't super easy to find either. So we're going to head back up with the elevator, back up to the regular Metropolis map, and this next one's going to be just to the north of the NPC that we just talked to. So this one I remember taking me a little bit of time to find here, because you think he might just be sitting outside somewhere in front of this building, but he's not. He's actually going to be another one that's inside of the building. He's on like the 2nd floor of this library. So we're going to fly up here, and there's an opening, and there is a lantern character. So we're going to talk to him, and he's going to be number 4 out of 5. And then the 5th one is going to be all the way up here in the top left corner, almost on the outskirts of Metropolis. So we're going to fly back outside, and she's going to be sitting on this cliffside. So we're going to talk to her, and that will be 5 out of 5. So now that we've talked to all 5 NPCs, we can now finally make our way back over to Ares. And so remember, he's back in the diner, so we're going to fly over here to the left side of the map, walk into the diner, and we can talk to him once again. And like many of the other side quests, there's going to be 5 different options to choose from, and we have to choose the 2 correct ones. And so the correct ones here are going to be the ones that mention something about a hipster, as well as the one mentioning a clueless Amazon. And so you can hit the other ones like I did there. It'll just kind of give you some extra dialogue, but then you can choose the correct ones a little bit later. But once you choose those 2 correct ones, I hit the clueless Amazon now. It'll give you 2 green check marks. You'll be good to go. He'll talk to you a little bit more about social media and stuff. But once he gets done talking, you will unlock Ares as a playable character. The next gold brick that we're going to tackle is called Planetary Placement, and it's going to be located over here on the right side of Metropolis. It's going to be in one of the higher up floors of this large skyscraper building. And so once we walk inside, there's going to be this big solar system model in the middle of the room. And so the first thing we're going to have to do is destroy these Lego objects over here in the corner. It's going to reveal an electrical panel that we can then charge up using a character like Livewire. It's going to cause this rocket to blow up, giving you a buildable Lego object, which is going to allow us to rotate this solar system model around. And so what you want to do here is don't pay attention to the planets themselves necessarily, but pay attention to the shadows that are underneath them. So here you can see I have Saturn in the bottom left-hand corner. That's creating a shadow over these different orange circles on the ground, turning them blue, and that'll cause different things to unlock. And so we're just going to keep rotating this around until we cover these different orange circles, and they're going to turn blue, and that means you're on the right track. So the next one is going to be this one in the top right corner. We're going to move around that blue planet to cover up this one, and once that's covered up, it'll cause this next one to unlock. Then we can cover that one up by rotating it just a little bit more. That'll cause this one in the bottom right corner to unlock. And then these last 3 we can actually hit all at the same time. So we're just going to keep rotating this around until we have 3 planets, creating a shadow over these 3 different orange circles on the ground. And so right there, they are all aligned up. And once you've aligned all of those correctly, it'll cause this thing in the top right-hand corner to blow up. Then you can grab the gold brick for planetary placement. Next is another gold brick, and this one's called Sea King's Stolen Stash. It's going to be located on the right side of Metropolis where these docks are. So when you get there, the game will be pointing you to this treasure chest where the gold brick is, but how do you get it open? Well, if you walk a little bit further on this dock, you're going to notice this NPC character. There's going to be a cutscene that plays, and there's this Kraken that's attacking her, and so the goal of this gold brick is to escort her across the dock to get her over to the gold brick chest. So at first you just have to punch the Kraken tentacle. Then for this next one you have to build these orange handles, pick up this Lego object that'll cause the Kraken to retreat yet again. And then for this next one she's going to start running, but then the Kraken tentacle is going to come back. There's going to be some buildable Lego objects, which is going to build a ramp over the tentacle, and there's also going to be some water that we have to freeze up using a character like Superman and his freeze breath. And that's going to create some platforms for her to jump across. And then she's going to walk across the dock there and make it over to the treasure chest. So once she makes it there, she has the key, she'll open it up, and as you might have guessed, inside is the gold brick for Sea King's Stolen Stash. Next up is another gold brick, and this one's called Comic Booster. This one's located pretty much right in the dead center of Metropolis, and this one actually counts towards the Game Guru Open World Challenge. So in that challenge, you have to go around the city playing several different mini games, and this counts as one of them. So to get into this comic store, there's going to be this guard post, so we can open that up using a character like Superman, and that'll allow you into this Blaze Comics store. So once you get inside, you might not know what to do just yet. Just wait around a little bit, and Booster Gold will start talking to you. And so if you punch this sign in the middle, there should be a brief cutscene that plays, and then we'll be able to start this mini game. So we're going to walk up here to the terminal, wave our hand in front of it, and for this mini game, all you have to do is run around and collect all these different comic books that are in the store as they appear. You just have to collect enough of them to get 500 points. I found this to be pretty easy. Like I was able to get 500 points with over 18 seconds remaining. So we're just going to keep going around collecting more comic books. But again, once you get 500, it really doesn't matter. Just wait for the time limit to expire. You'll get a whole bunch of studs. And after Booster Gold gets done talking, you will gain the gold brick for Comic Booster. Next up is a side quest. This one's called Popularity Booster. It's going to be found right in the middle of Metropolis. So right outside the Blaze comic store, Booster Gold is going to be waiting there just to the left of the entrance. So we're going to wave our hand in front of him to activate this side quest. So this is going to be one of those quests where we have to follow him around and take several different pictures with him. I think there's like 4 or 5 different pictures we got to take. So we're just going to follow him, and then once he stops, you take a picture with him and just keep doing that a few different times. So for his first stop is this communications building. So we're going to pull out our camera by tapping the LB or L1 button, depending on what console you're on. Take a picture in front of those different NPCs, and that'll be the first picture. And so now we're going to follow him around a little bit more. I don't believe any enemies attack you on this one. Like usually on these side quests, they have enemies thrown in there, but that is not the case this time. And so we're going to take a picture in front of these 2 people here. There's like a farmer and then an old lady. So that's the second picture. And now he's going to continue walking. I believe he walks inside the diner at one point. Yep, I think it's the next one here coming up. And so he's going to make his way around into the diner building. He's going to stand in front of some characters in here. So we're going to pull out the camera yet again, take that picture. And when you're taking these pictures, you do have to make sure those boxes around the characters are green or else it won't count. So in this case, you would have to have a green box around Booster Gold and then another one around whichever character that he's wanting you to take a picture with. So that's the third one in the diner. So now there's going to be, I believe, just one more picture out here in front of the theater. You can see It Came from Krypton is playing at the movie theater, and these characters standing out here over to the left of the front entrance are going to be the final set. So we're going to take a picture in front of them, make sure that character standing on top of that pole is in the picture, and Booster Gold will start talking to you for a little bit, but once he gets done, you will unlock Booster Gold as a playable character. Next is a gold brick called Exhibition Extraction, and it takes place on the left side of Metropolis. It's actually going to be inside the Natural History Museum here in Metropolis. So we're going to fly over here and head right inside. And the first thing we're going to do is there's going to be a glass Lego object in the corner of the room with some henchmen banging on it. So we're going to switch over to a character that can destroy that, like Reverse Flash. And once that's destroyed, it'll give you a buildable Lego object where we need to recruit some Riddler henchmen. So we're going to switch over to the Joker and just go around this museum and recruit 4 different henchmen to be on our team. And once we have them, we can walk over here to this pad and tap the B or circle button. That's going to cause this box to drop onto the floor, and it's going to leave a buildable Lego object, and that's going to build up into 4 different grapple hook points. So with our different recruited henchmen, we can now pull on all 4 of those grapple hooks at the same time, and out of it is going to come a Mammoth. So the Mammoth's going to walk around a bit, then it's going to hit the gold brick in the corner of the room, and then you can grab the gold brick for exhibition extraction. Moving on to a side quest. This one's called Big Mammoth's House. It's going to be located sort of on the left middle of Metropolis, just beneath the Daily Planet building. And so we're going to fly over here, and Mammoth will be waiting for us. He's a big fig character. I know nothing about him, but I'm sure he's from some DC comic in the past. And so we're going to talk to him, and he's going to want to visit the Natural History Museum to see the Mammoth exhibit. So we're just going to have to walk on over there, and we're going to get interrupted by some cops. So I guess Mammoth might be a villain. I'm not entirely sure. But once we get to the entrance here, there's going to be a little cutscene where he breaks through some Lego objects. You can get some studs off that. Continue moving up here, and there's going to be a security system. So to bypass that, we need to switch over to a character like Deathstroke or Batman. Then we can just tap the B or circle button to turn invisible. Then you can hit that switch, and that'll open up the door into the building. But there's going to be a SWAT team that attacks you, so we're going to destroy them. And once we get inside, that will pretty much complete this side quest. So Mammoth is going to talk for a little bit, and once he gets done talking, you will unlock Mammoth as a playable character. Next up is a gold brick called the Metropolis Job, and it's located on the left side of Metropolis. And this one is pretty easy, but the hardest part about it is figuring out how to get to it. So there's going to be this Natural History Museum building. Head to the bottom, and there's going to be an elevator in that room, so we can use that to take you up to the floor that the gold brick is on. And so once we get up here, there's going to be a techno panel, so we're going to switch over to Malcolm Merlin, and we just have to hit the different arrow keys in the correct order that it shows us. That'll lower this security system, allowing you access to the gold brick for the Metropolis Job. Next up is a gold brick called Tabloid Takeover, and this one takes place in the middle left of Metropolis, and this is actually going to be inside of the Daily Planet. So how do we get in there? Well, if you head to the bottom floor, there's going to be an opening, and inside there's going to be an elevator that you can hit a button on, and that'll then take you up to the main floor of the Daily Planet where Clark Kent, aka Superman, works. So once we get up there, there's going to be a cutscene with Jimmy Olsen giving us some instructions on what we're going to have to do here. Basically, what we're going to have to do is there's going to be a poison ivy canister that you can build up right away. There it is. And so once that's built up, we now need to find 3 different flowers around the room, and there's different objectives that you have to do in order to get each of those flowers. So first off, if you walk towards the camera, there's going to be some gold Lego object trophies that we can melt down using Superman's laser vision. That'll give you one of these buildable turning switches that we can turn this statue around just a little bit. And at the back of the statue, there's going to be a little pole that we can hang from that's going to fire a laser up here on this second floor. And out of that gramophone is going to be the first of 3 flowers. And we'll go pick that up here in a little bit. So over here on the right side, there's going to be one of these graffiti walls. So we're going to switch over to a character that can use those, like the Joker, Harley Quinn, anybody like that. That'll cause this wall to blow up, and inside is going to be the second of 3 flowers. That just leaves 1 more to go, so now we're going to walk away from the camera over here to the right side where this vending machine is. At least I think that's what that's supposed to be. Just start hitting it a few times, and out of the vending machine is going to come the 3rd flower. So now that we have all 3, we can just go around with Poison Ivy and gather each one. So that's the first 2, and then we're going to walk over to the left side and grab the one that's in front of this door. And now that we have all 3, we can deposit them into this large canister that'll charge up her spray, and then we can spray that in the room that Jimmy Olsen is in. So we're going to hold the B or circle button to do that. Then there's going to be this cutscene that shows them all being hypnotized inside, and so we're just going to wait a few seconds for this cutscene to end. Jimmy Olsen will come out, and there's going to be a few different Lego objects that come out of this giant printer, and we're going to have to switch over to a telekinetic character, like your custom character from the main story, the Rookie. And so what we have to do is deposit these 3 pieces in the order that you see in the top left corner. So you can see those 3 different pictures. Move those different pieces in that same order that are displayed there from left to right. And once you do, there's going to be a cutscene showing the printing press. Just wait a few seconds and you will get the gold brick for Tabloid Takeover. Switching over to a race, this one's called Superfast Sidewalks, and this one starts out in the top left corner of Metropolis. It's actually going to be on one of the higher up floors of this nearby building, and so this is where you start it. You're going to have to switch to a character with super speed though, so we're going to switch over to the Flash or Reverse Flash. There might be some more characters that have super speed as well. And this one has a 1 minute and a 20-second timer on it, so you need to complete it within that time limit in order to get the reward at the end. And there's going to be 30 checkpoint rings you have to go through, which sounds like a lot, but the Flash is so fast and these rings are placed fairly close together that it shouldn't be too much of an issue unless you just make a massive mistake. And this race takes place entirely in Metropolis, so you won't be going outside of that. But once you complete it, you will unlock the Flashmobile as a playable vehicle. Now we have another gold brick called Trying Triangles, and this one takes place in the top right corner of Metropolis, just south of the Star Labs building. And so we're going to head over here, and what you have to do first is just wait around for this scientist to get done talking. And once you wait around long enough, there's going to be a brief cutscene that plays where these triangles pop out of the water. And this one can be a little bit tricky, but you can pretty much follow exactly what I do here, and you'll be good to go. So the goal is to match up the colors of the triangles. So when you step on those green circles in the middle, that'll rotate that whole triangle around, and you want to make sure all of the colors are matching up. So the red triangles are only touching red triangles, the yellow ones are only touching yellow ones, and the white ones are only touching white ones. So you can follow exactly what I do here. That's kind of the key of it. And so it's a little bit of a trial and error, but again, if you just follow what I'm doing, you should be good to go. You can slow the video down using YouTube's player controls if you need to. But I'm stepping on all these different platforms, getting the colors to all match up, and there we go. They've all been aligned. All the white triangles, yellow and red, are all touching each other. And once that gets completed, the scientist will give you the gold brick for Trying Triangles. Next up is another gold brick. This one's called Bad Science, and it takes place in the top right corner of Metropolis, and this one's going to be inside the Star Laboratories building. So you have to walk over here to the bottom level. There's going to be an elevator that you can hit the button on, wait a few seconds for the doors to open, and hit the button again, and you're going to be in Star Labs. So for this one, there's going to be 3 different items you can see on the left-hand side of the screen that we need to gather. So if you walk towards the back left here, there's going to be this security system. So we're going to switch over to a character like Deathstroke to go invisible. Then you can hack this techno panel by hitting the 3 arrow keys in the order that it tells you to, and that'll lower this force field. You can destroy these Lego brick objects here, and that'll be 1 out of 3. So now we're going to head towards the middle of the room, and right here there's going to be one of these flash treadmills on the ground. So we're going to switch over to reverse flash and mash the X or square button depending on what console you're on. That'll take you through one of these flash portals here where you have to go around and collect 10 different objects. So we're just going to keep moving left and right until we have all 10. And once you do, that'll cause reverse flash to build this laser beam that's going to destroy this rock that's in the corner of the room. And inside the destroyed rock is going to be the second of the 3 items that we need. It's like a piece of gold. And so now we need a bucket. So over here on the right side of the room, there's going to be a telekinetic Lego object. So we're going to switch to a character that has telekinetic abilities like Gorilla Grodd. It's going to lower this ladder down, giving you the final object that we need. So with all those 3 things, we can now make our way to the back of the room, and there's going to be a red button that we can hit on the right side wall. Go ahead and hit that. There's going to be a cutscene that shows a gold brick being created, but the scientist is going to take it behind a glass wall, so you can't get to it just yet. So we're going to head over there, and we can actually mind control the scientists. So to do that, we're going to switch over to a character like the Riddler with his mind-controlling abilities and have the scientist pull on that lever. That'll then transport the gold brick out here where we are, and then we can grab the gold brick for Bad Science. Next, we're going to tackle a side quest. This one's called Revitalizing Relics, and it takes place in the top left corner of Metropolis. And to get to this one, there's going to be a clock tower, but you can't fly directly to where the quest is. You have to head to the bottom and take this elevator up. So for a lot of these quests, we have been using a lot of elevators lately, but once you get up here to the top, this character named Trigon is going to be waiting for us. He's like some sort of demon character, and so we're going to talk to him, and he's going to want us to find several different relics across the city. There's going to be 8 of them in total, And this is going to be one of those quests where, yes, they're highlighted on the map, but the game actually shows you where they're at if you just follow the purple indicator on screen. So it's just a matter of going to each location. So if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, there's 8 different objects. There's 4 things that look like a hot dog, and there's like 4 that look like a red crystal of some sort. So that first one is going to be in that kind of bouncing treasure chest. So we destroyed that. This hot dog is going to be where this hot dog stand is. That makes sense. And so now we're going to head over here to this building. A lot of them are inside buildings too, to make them a little bit harder to get to. And so we're going to destroy that vacuum cleaner. That'll be number 3 out of 8. And so now we're going to head over here to another hot dog stand, destroy that, and that'll be number 4 out of 8. So now we're going to move over here to where the diner is. And this one's going to be inside the diner, sitting here on the table, and that's going to be the next 2 hot dogs. So that covers all of those, and now we just need 2 more crystals. So we're going to move up here to one of the higher floors of this building. This is where we had to do the planet quest. There's going to be another one of these weird chests that we can destroy, and that'll give us 3 out of 4 crystals. And then for this next one, you have to head over here to Lex Luthor's building, and in one of the top floors, there's going to be a box that we can destroy. That'll give us all 8 of the items that we need. So now we're going to fly back over to Trigon. Again, you can't fly directly to him. You have to drop to the bottom floor of this clock tower and take the elevator back up. And so once we get back up here to the top floor, we can wave our hand in front of Trigon, and he's going to be happy with us and all that. He's going to talk for a little bit, but once he gets done talking about his relics, and he goes on for quite a while, you will unlock Trigon as a playable character. Moving on to a gold brick. This one's called Park Pest, and it's located in the top middle of Metropolis in this sort of grassy area. I believe this is called Centennial Park. But once you land here, there's going to be a NPC that starts talking to you, and there's going to be this gopher that's causing him trouble, so we have to use this LexCorp Lumberjack vehicle to cut down these trees. So the first tree is going to be right here. Just chop it up with the Lumberjack, and that'll clog up the gopher hole, and then it'll cause the gopher to pop out at a different hole. So now we're going to make our way over here to this left side, and there's going to be a tree right next to the hole, so we're going to cut that down. That'll be number 2 out of 4. And then the gopher is going to keep moving over here to the left. So we're going to make our way towards that direction. And the lumberjack machine is kind of slow, so I have sped this up quite a bit. And there is 3 out of 4. And then the 4th one is going to be all the way over here on the left side next to that dumpster. And so we're going to slowly get over there. The animation for the lumberjack is pretty crazy too, the way the arms kind of flail around like that. But once you knock down all 4 trees, just wait a few seconds, and there will be a cutscene with the NPC talking to you again. You can see the gopher pops up behind him still, and he will hand you the gold brick for Park Pest. Next up is another gold brick, and this one's called Meanwhile at the Hall of Justice. It takes place at the very top middle of Metropolis at the Hall of Justice building. And so the indicator is going to point you to this chest where the gold brick is, but how do we get it open? Well, this one's going to be a multi-step one. So if we walk towards the front of the Hall of Justice, you're going to notice this pressure pad sign here next to the American flag. Just step on that, and that'll open up this batarang switch or batarang target on the wall. So we're going to switch over to Batman, throw a batarang at that, it'll rotate it around, and that'll light up one of these 5 lights at the front sign of the Hall of Justice. So we just have to go around and light up 4 more of those, and then we'll be able to grab the gold bricks. So over here on the left side, there's going to be 2 of them, and then the right side is going to have the other 2. And so there's going to be this dig spot, so we're going to switch over to a character like Cheetah. That's going to give you a buildable lantern pad. Then we can switch over to a lantern character like Sinestro, or in this case, Green Lantern. And he's going to form this giant magnet, which is going to pull off the side of this wall, and it's going to reveal one of these pressure pads that we can stand on. And once you do, that'll reveal the next batarang switch. So we're going to fly up there and then switch over to a character like Batman or Robin. Then you can throw a batarang at that target. It'll rotate it around, and that'll light up the second of the 5 lights. And then this next light, actually 2 of the next lights are pretty easy. So if you just walk a little bit over here to the right, there's going to be some Lego objects that we can destroy nearby, and behind it, very sneaky, is another one of these batarang switches. So we can just immediately switch over to Batman and throw a batarang at that, and that'll be number 3 out of 5. So now we have the whole left side lit up. Now we just need to make our way over here to the right side. So we're going to cut through the inside area of the Hall of Justice, and just outside here you can already notice the next switch that's sitting out in the open. throw a Batarang at that, and that'll be number 4 out of 5, so that only leaves one more left, and this one you have to work for just a little bit. So if you fall down here to the lower level, you're going to notice a weak wall, so you can switch to a big fig character like Clayface or a strong character like Superman and destroy that weak wall, and behind it is going to be another one of these pressure pads. Stand on that, and that'll reveal the final Batarang targets. Now we're going to switch over to Robin, who is already up there. We're going to throw his staff at it. I guess the staff counts as well, and that'll be 5 out of 5, and that'll finally open up the treasure chest that has the gold brick inside. So now we just need to make our way over there. So we're going to switch over to Superman, fly up here to the roof, and grab the gold brick for Meanwhile at the Hall of Justice. Alright, so the next gold brick is called Vacuums Suck, and it takes place in the top middle of Metropolis. This one's going to be inside of the Hall of Justice building. So we're going to head in here and move up to the second floor, and there's going to be a secret teleporter up here. So just wait a few seconds for the teleporter to turn on, and once you wait long enough, you'll get the prompt to hit the B or circle button, and now you'll be in the Justice League Watchtower. You might remember this area from the main story of the game, and there's going to be a gold brick to find here. So head over here to the far right side, and that'll take you to this hangar bay where this side quest is going to take place. So there's going to be this cutscene of the security officer asking us to repair this device, and there's going to be 3 objects that we need to gather. I think they're like batteries of some sort. I'm just going to call them batteries for the purpose of this video. And so over here on the far left side, there's going to be an electrical panel on the wall. So we're going to switch to a character that can charge those up, like Livewire, or in this case, I'm using Grid. I think he's one of the better characters in the game. And once you do that, that'll give you one of the 3 pieces. And once you pick it up, it'll automatically teleport it over to where it needs to go. If you move over here just to the right, there's going to be a scientist behind this glass wall that you can mind control using a character like the Riddler. Move him over here to this techno panel, mash the X or square button. That'll cause this magnetic crane of some sort to pick up this box and drop it onto this jet, and that'll reveal where the next battery object is. So we're going to make our way over there, and there it is sitting out in the open. That's going to be number 2 out of 3. And that's also going to reveal one of these vents on the ground. So we're going to switch to a character that can go in vents, like Clayface, for example. I believe Livewire can do it as well. It's going to take you to this secret room with an electrical circuit board on the wall, so we can go inside here and solve this little maze. We have to rotate it around a bit and hit the red switch. And once you do, you're going to hop out, and there's going to be another cutscene that plays with the next battery that we need. So we're going to go back through the vent to get back to the main hangar bay area, and then we can pick up that last battery, and that's going to be number 3 out of 3, which is going to turn on this screen on the left side. Then we can use a tech-savvy character like Malcolm Merlin. Then you have to solve this little puzzle, which can be a little weird. So what I did was I just matched the colors. So I hit the 2 yellow circles on the left and right sides. That'll form this line in between them. Then I hit the 2 purple circles. That formed another line. I tried to hit the 2 green ones, but it wasn't working, so then I just moved on to the 2 orange ones. That worked. And then lastly, I hit the 2 green ones. That'll cause lines to connect between all of them. And once you do that, he'll act like it wasn't right. Like this Kraken will just pop out from outer space. And so you just have to wait a few seconds for the cutscene to end. The Kraken will go away, and then you can just walk right inside and grab the gold brick for Vacuums Suck. Okay, moving on to a side quest. This one's called Why the Long Face, and it takes place at the top of Metropolis, just to the left of the Hall of Justice. So when you get out here, this character named Donna Troy will be waiting for you. I'm not familiar with her at all, but she's got this black horse with her as well. I'm sure she's from the comic books, so we're going to talk to her, and once she gets done talking, she will give us this quest where we have to head to Smallville and gather these different pieces of food. So we have to gather some carrots and then some green apples. I think that's what that is. If not, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to call it apples for the purpose of this video. And so we're going to head over here to this Smallville grocery store, and inside there's going to be 1 carrot and 1 apple. And then behind that, just outside of the abandoned mines, there's going to be another one of these apples. And so now we're going to head over here to Clark Kent's farm, and inside the barn, there's going to be a couple more pieces of food. There will be this cutscene that plays setting up another side quest, but in here there's going to be another carrot and another apple, and then over here there's going to be the final 3 carrots here in the farm. So once we've gathered all 8 of those pieces of food, we're going to make our way back over to Metropolis and to the Hall of Justice Island area to talk to Donna Troy. So we're going to wave our hand in front of her. She's going to talk for a bit, and once she gets done talking, you will unlock Donna Troy as a playable character. And now for the final collectible in Metropolis, this one's called Artifact Annihilation. And it takes place at the very top of Metropolis, and this one's going to be inside of the Hall of Justice. So not just inside this room, but there's going to be another deeper room that we can go into. So if you head over here to the back, there's going to be this lever, pull on that, and you can walk inside the Hall of Justice. So this character is going to talk to you, and essentially what we have to do here is reflect some lasers around the room. So if you fly over here to the top left side, there's going to be a graffiti wall. So we're going to switch over to a character like the Joker, spray some graffiti on that to blow up the wall, and behind it is going to be an electrical panel. So switch over to a character like Livewire or Grid to charge that up. And once you do, there's going to be one of these sliding puzzles on the wall. So use a tech-savvy character and to start sliding these different pieces around. When it gives you studs, that means you're on the right track. So just keep moving those pieces until it forms the Green Lantern logo. That's going to charge up this laser. And that's going to be the first step to getting this gold brick. So we're going to head over here, and just beneath the Wonder Woman statue, there's going to be a buildable Lego object, which is going to reflect into the Superman statue. Now that we've done that, we can head over here to the right side, and there's going to be a grapple hook point. So we're going to switch to a character that can pull on those, like the Joker or Batman, Deathstroke, anybody like that. And behind it is going to be a lever that we have to pull on at the correct time. So when the little needle passes the green marker, that's when you can pull on it, and that'll charge up this next laser, which is going to point at Batman. And so there's going to be another buildable Lego object beneath him, so we're going to build that up. That'll cause it to then reflect into Superman, and once both lasers are reflecting there, it'll then destroy that rock that's in the middle of the room, and inside of it is going to be your gold brick. So there's going to be a brief cutscene that plays, and then you can grab the gold brick for Artifact Annihilation. And alright, that's going to wrap up Metropolis here in LEGO DC Supervillains. I know this was a long one, so be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not, subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.